Hey, Streetwalkers. I just wanted to pop in here and introduce a quick message from friend of Fascination Street, Vinny Tortorich. Take it away, Vinny.
Hi, guys. As you know, Fat, a documentary, is in the can, as they like to say in Hollywood. But hey, now we need distribution, and a lot of big companies are considering our movie. That's great. One of those companies happens to be Netflix. They have the movie right now. But you know what? We can help it along. As it turns out, Netflix has a place you can go to request TV shows and movies. So go do that. Go to help.netflix.com and let them know you want to see Fat, a documentary. Once again, go to help.netflix.com and let them know you want to see our movie, Fat, a documentary. Thanks.
Once again, guys, go to help.netflix.com and on the far right, under Quick Links, click on Request TV Show or Movie, and then type in Fat, a documentary. Let's all get behind this documentary and help it get one step closer to everybody being able to see it. Thanks, Streetwalkers. And now, on with the show. I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. Hey guys, if you like what I'm doing, click the Amazon banner at the top of the homepage on FascinationStreetPod.com and do all of your shopping through Amazon. Once you click on it and it takes you to Amazon, you can bookmark it or add it to your favorites and you won't have to go to my site each time. It helps me keep the show going, and again, thanks for listening. Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with Canadian-Irish speed skater Sean McAnuff. In this episode, we talk about his time playing hockey, lacrosse, and speed skating, because, you know, he grew up in Canada. We also talk about why lacrosse players get the most ladies, why he decided to speed skate for Ireland and not Canada. Plus, we talk about how Sean holds the record for the fastest Irish speed skater in history in 2 separate events. Enjoy, Streetwalkers. This is my interview with Canadian-born speed skater for Team Ireland, Sean McAnuff.
Yeah, talk to me, yeah.
Welcome to Fascination Street, Sean McAnuff. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you. I've already talked to your brother, Ryan, and this is going to be about you, mostly, not about the two of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. So, Sean, tell me where you were born.
I was born in Oakville, Ontario, in Canada.
Just outside of Toronto?
Yes, that's right. About 30 minutes west of Toronto.
All right, cool. So, you are, I guess, a Canadian-born Irishman. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
Now, you grow up in Canada, just outside of Toronto, where the national sport is hockey.
Yeah, hockey and lacrosse are our 2 big national sports.
Well, lacrosse doesn't really count as a sport, but let's talk about hockey. I'm just kidding.
Alrighty.
I'm just kidding. Lacrosse is really big in the eastern United States, and I'm from Texas, where it's not very big, but for about a year and a half, I lived kind of in the east, and it was surprisingly huge there. So, did you play either one of those?
Yeah, definitely it is.
Did you play either one of those sports growing up?
Yeah, so I started playing hockey probably as early as I could put on skates, really. It was probably the Timbits League, which is like the Tim Hortons little kiddie league that they ran for really young kids. So, yeah, ever since, I was probably on skates starting at around 5 years old or so, I'd say. And then I played hockey all the way up until about grade 7 or so in middle school. And then I stopped. So I stopped playing hockey because trying to do speed skating and hockey at the same time is quite a lot, first of all, just on the schedule, but also the skating techniques are really different. So I even had some pressures from my coaches saying, like my speed skating coaches saying that, you know, like if you didn't play hockey, your stride would be quite different and obviously better for speed skating. So it was definitely a decision I had to make, but I was definitely happy to commit to speed skating at a pretty young age. And then for lacrosse, I played on and off in childhood. I played in like the Oakville Hawks lacrosse league. So that was like a rep league. And I played up until grade 8, probably starting around grade 5. And then I took a few years off, and then I played 2 years of junior lacrosse, actually. That was with the Oakville Buzz. So that's the junior B team that I played on. And then the year before that was junior C team, actually. And then coming to university at Bishop's University, I played 1 year of outdoor lacrosse because all the other lacrosse is indoor. You guys in the States probably don't know much about indoor lacrosse. But at university, it's field lacrosse. So then I played 1 year of field lacrosse on the Bishop's University team. And then I stopped playing. So that would have been after my first year of university.
So, first of all, what made you decide to play lacrosse? Was it family oriented, or why did you choose to play lacrosse?
That's a good question. So I did have 3 older brothers growing up. So basically whatever they tried, I tried, which kind of makes sense, just hand down the equipment, hand down some knowledge too. So it was probably started as kind of a family thing, in high school. And when I was getting older and had the chance to play like at a junior level, that was kind of my choice. And I was a pretty big physical guy. I was usually on the defensive side of the floor or field. So I really enjoyed it. I like physical sports as well. So that was a nice way that I could just practice some more physical sport, because speed skating is, there's some bumping and stuff like that. But, lacrosse is quite a bit of body checking, and indoor lacrosse, you get to cross check and stuff like that. So
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
So let's assume that, having those older brothers, I'll do anything they'll do. Let's assume that's why you're also into speed skating.
Yeah, no, you got that right. So as I said, 3 older brothers. So the 2 oldest brothers, Patrick and Connor, they saw short track speed skating on TV during the 2002 Olympics, which was in Salt Lake City. And then they were like, wow, that's a super cool sport. So they talked to my parents, and in Oakville, Ontario, where we were living, there was actually a pretty decently sized and already established short track speed skating club. So they gave it a try. And then Ryan, the brother just above me, he tried it. And then I tried it basically starting at the same time as him. So that's about kind of how that started. As you said, basically just because my brothers did it, but I'm definitely thankful that they did do that.
So 2002 Salt Lake, was that Apollo Ono or no?
He was probably in it then for sure. I'm not sure when he retired. I mean, he was so good for so many years. So, pretty sure 100% he was in that one.
I think he probably was too. Have you been to the Salt Lake Olympic Stadium, or whatever it's called, Olympic Park?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So my brother Ryan and I actually spent 1 month out in Salt Lake City. We just rented an apartment off of another skater, actually. And we lived there and trained with the Fast team, which trained out of the Olympic Oval. And that was back in 2017. So that was the summer before the Olympic season. So yeah, we spent some time out there. It's a beautiful city, first of all, as well. And the facilities there are amazing. And they actually just opened up a new weights gym and training facility attached to the Utah Olympic Oval. So they're still developing and everything there.
Yeah, I had the fortunate opportunity to go visit the Olympic Park in Salt Lake City, or Park City, I guess, a couple of months ago. I think it was September, maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was really cool because I got to interview a 4-time Olympic Jamaican bobsledder, and he took me up there and kind of, took me behind the scenes and showed me everything. And then we went ziplining, and I'd never done that before, and it was really, really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a huge opportunity. Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I know that in 2019, I'm not supposed to assume whether you like boys or girls. So I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. I'm going to assume that you like the girls.
Yes, I do very much. I have a beautiful girlfriend.
All right. So is she listening right now?
No, she's in the apartment though. Yes. So okay. Kind of listening, but she can't hear you.
Well, okay, cool. So I guess answer this question in code if you need to, but of all the sports that you played throughout your life, which one attracted the attention from the most ladies?
Yeah, that would be lacrosse, probably. Funny enough, I was on the lacrosse team when I met my girlfriend, so I think that kind of worked out like that. I think lacrosse players, they're always pretty buff and they're always pretty chill and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely a not a stigma or anything, but like a classic assumption that lacrosse players kind of get girls. I think that would be it, probably, of all the sports.
Well,
I think speed skating's kind of a weird sport. So
I heard once somebody say that it's not a sport if there's a judge that decides who wins.
Okay, yeah.
Which I don't agree with, but I thought it was kind of funny. But it sounds like it really worked out with you and your lady, at least so far.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've been dating for 3 years, actually, over 3 years.
Oh wow, what's the holdup, man? Why aren't y'all married yet?
Yeah, we'll see in the future. Don't worry.
If you lived in America, you'd have children by now. If you lived in San Antonio, Texas, you'd have grandchildren by now.
Yeah, that's what you guys do down there, isn't it?
Yeah, we do. I made my grandparents when they were in their late 30s.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, that's how we roll down here.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I accept that.
Is it cool? It's not really cool. You're supposed to have your shit together before you have kids, so I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, no.
So I guess all of your other brothers kind of got you interested in speed skating. And when did you decide that that was something you wanted to pursue, I guess, on the world stage?
Yeah. So, when I was younger, I was very, tall. I was pretty tall compared to most other skaters. That kind of helped me, as well as being physically fit and obviously gifted in skating. I was definitely one of the main skaters in Ontario, for my age group, that would dominate quite a bit. So as I grew up, I found that people started to kind of catch up to me because they started to develop and stuff, how that works. But at the end of high school, when my brother, my parents, and I started playing with the idea of being able to bring out the sport of speed skating in Ireland and also representing them, that's when I really kind of clicked that I was like, wow, this dream that I had, for many years while I was speed skating of wanting to skate in the Olympics, I was like, this could actually come true through this path that we could take. So I did always dream of becoming a high-level speed skater and, watching Charles Hamlin, who's a Canadian speed skater, watching him in multiple Olympics throughout my childhood and early teens and stuff. That was pretty motivating, for sure. And then, when we got the chance to actually represent Ireland on the international stage, that was a huge deal. And it was definitely a step further into actually reaching my end goal of skating the Olympics. So,
getting into the Olympics or skating in the Olympics?
Yeah, like competing in the Olympics.
Sure. So I guess I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Sean McAnuff he's a Canadian-born, but he speed skates for the country of Ireland. And I believe that, Sean, if I'm correct, you're the fastest ever Irish speed skater. Is that true?
Well, yeah. So I hold the Irish national record for the 500 meter, which is the sprint distance, and the 1,000 meter, which is the middle distance. And then Ryan, my brother, he holds the Irish national record for the 1,500 meter, which is the longer distance race. So in two of the distances, I am, yes.
Is there only 3 distances on the short track?
Yes, well, those are the 3 that we've done since we've been on Team Ireland. In some competitions and World Cups, if you make a certain top, I believe it's top 8, you do a 3,000 meter super final. That's 27 laps. So, there's potential that one of us could do that one day and get the record in that as well. There's also relays. For men, it's a 5,000 meter relay, which is 45 laps. But we need 4 guys to do that on Team Ireland. And also it would be a shared record if we got it. So, but yeah, there is potential for more records for sure.
You have older brothers, I believe you said Patrick and Connor, right?
Yes.
Do they speed skate?
They don't anymore. They started probably just before high school and then ended probably grade 9 or 10. They're great athletes as well, but I think they just found interest in other things. So they did not continue skating, but they've always been super supportive of my brother Ryan and I's skating, which is pretty awesome.
Now, are you 2 brothers the first ever Irish speed skaters for the national team?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that means that, the very first time you ever skated, you set a Irish team national record, right?
That is correct, yes. So the first weekend we raced as Team Ireland, there were quite a few records.
Okay, so keeping in mind that your two older brothers have some speed skating history, if all four of you were to do the relay, then you would set a Irish speed skating team record, right?
That is true. Yes, that would be true. I don't know how excited the older two would be to participate in that, because it's quite an intense race, especially when there's like 4 teams on the track in a World Cup, possibly 5 if someone gets advanced into the final or something. So it's pretty hectic, but you are right by saying that, yes.
Okay, so I asked your brother, and I'll ask you and see if you guys have a different answer. Why did you decide to skate for Team Ireland and not Team Canada?
Basically, I think, like my parents and I and my brother, we all kind of talked, and we all kind of came to the conclusion of, if we can bring awareness to short track speed skating and just speed skating in general to Ireland, as well as get the opportunity to race, World Cups. I got to race a World Junior Championships when I was young enough. We've been in European Championships, World Championships. So we give some, obviously, and then we also get to take some, which is super cool. The depth of speed skaters in Canada is quite incredible. There's a lot of really good, older skaters, but also younger skaters coming up. So for me to get to the level of competing in World Cups and, World Championships and stuff like that in Canada, it would take a lot longer for me to get there. I'm not saying I couldn't get there, but it would take a lot longer for me to get to that level. And skating with Ireland, we get to create awareness of the sport and bring the sport to the country for the first time ever. And then we also get to kind of have a fast pass to the international level. So
who pays for everything? I can't imagine that Ireland has an endless supply, or shall I be racist and say I can't imagine that Ireland has a giant pot of gold ready to just fund the Irish speed skating team, considering they never had one before. So how does the financing work? Like, do you guys have to raise your own money or sponsorships, or how does that all happen?
So, yeah, when it comes to finances, that is something we're always kind of going season by season, figuring out. The Ice Skating Association of Ireland, ISAI, they are the board in Ireland, obviously, and they do help us financially in some ways, basically in ways that they can as they keep developing and growing as a bigger association. So, often for certain competitions, we get things like flights paid for. We get reimbursed at the end of the season. Things like hotel rooms, we can get reimbursed. It's not every competition, of course. So when it comes to, the other competitions or the other fees that we have to come up with, my brother and I, we always have summer jobs during the school year, even sometimes, some odd jobs around the town or whatever, just making money wherever we can so that when it comes to paying to keep skating, that we can. And also we're fortunate enough for our parents to help us as well financially, which is awesome, because we definitely could not be doing this without their support from the day we started speed skating, really. Because equipment for speed skating is another really expensive category. Like our speed skating boots, like separate from the blades, they're custom molded, so they're around $1,800 Canadian. And then the blades for one pair is about, above 500 Canadian dollars. So it is a very expensive sport. And ideally, we would have sponsors. There is one sponsor that we currently do have for Team Ireland short track speed skating, and that's USANA. So it's a health sciences company. And they don't give us money directly, but we have a monthly allowance, and we get protein, vitamins, like protein flavor packs, the stuff called Nutrimeal, which is like a meal replacement that we can just use if we're going on the go. So stuff like that does really help, even though it's not directly cash. But yeah, ideally, we're always searching, sending a bunch of emails and things like that for companies to help us financially. Like, we do have stuff to offer, obviously, our like publicity on our social medias. Companies would get their names on our suits, be seen all around the world, stuff like that. So it's just really hard to find a company that is willing to and able to invest into us. So
I think that you have some time before the next big race. Well, no, you don't. Is the next big race like next week?
Well, yeah, I was going to be racing in the World Cup in Italy, but I'm not going to be anymore. I'm also a full-time student here in Sherbrooke, Quebec. So I decided how the season is going so far. Like, I have World Championships in March, which is coming up quicker than I thought. March 8th, 9th, 10th weekend. So if I go away for a week between now and then, it'll put me really far back in school. I'll probably have to take some time off training to catch up. So I made the decision actually like the other day to skip that World Cup and just focus on school and training for the next, 5 weeks or so, and then head to Sofia, Bulgaria for the World Championships. So,
hey guys, it's Kevin Hale, host of Shooting from the Lip podcast, the Shooting from the Lip Experience. I do a podcast here in Louisville, Kentucky that focuses on local talent, local personalities, doing my part to give local people a platform for some conversation. My podcast includes people in business, music, film, comedy, sports, politics, paranormal, and we also talk some trending news and pop culture. You can find my shows on all of the podcast platforms, Shooting from the Lip. I also do video. You can find those on my Facebook page and YouTube channel. Again, it's Shooting from the Lip. Check out the show, show some support, give me feedback, comments, and be a part of Lip Nation.
Both you and your brother are going to skate at those World Championships in Bulgaria as well?
yes.
Interesting. Are y'all going to compete against each other, or is there a team category?
It would be against each other again.
Ooh, literal sibling rivalry.
Yeah, you got it.
So you said you're at Bishop University?
Yep, that's correct.
To be what? What are you going to be when you grow up?
I'm studying biology, so I'm doing a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Likely I'm going to finish with a minor in psychology as well. Lately I've been looking into different paths I could go after my undergraduate. And something I've been looking at recently is nursing, actually. So I think that's a super cool path that I could go on. I really don't know yet. I'm probably going to finish my degree next year. So I have about another, half year or maybe a full year left next year in my undergrad. And then I'll probably be taking time off to A, train for speed skating and B, kind of figure out my next move.
I think that's the Lord's calling. My wife is a master's prepared psychiatric nurse and has been for quite a few years. And I know that at least in this country, there is a nursing shortage. And I would imagine that it's probably in your home country as well.
Oh, yeah. That's super cool. Wow. That's an awesome job. Yeah, I would assume that there is here. I haven't looked super far into it, but I know quite a few nurses that came out of school and got a job pretty quickly. So,
and there's great money in it. Depending on how you use that degree, there's doctor money in there if you do it right.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it would in Canada. So once I'm done my undergrad, it would be depends what I want to specialize in and stuff. But I could do like a 2-year accelerated nursing program. So it would be pretty quick and obviously not too much more money invested in the school, but that's not a worry anyways. But
sure. Again, I really can only speak to America, the United States. I think that the biggest shortage is in the psychiatric field. So I said, I don't know if that's the way it is in Canada, but in America, the serious shortages are in the mental health arena.
But I guess that's kind of like a new developing kind of field, like more and more every year, I think. So that makes sense to me, yeah.
I think that you're probably right. So both you and your brother are kind of pursuing a medical profession. What do Patrick and Connor do? And then what made you and Ryan decide to get into the medical industry?
Yeah, so oldest brother Patrick, he went out to British Columbia on the west side of Canada. And he did kinesiology, a degree in kinesiology. So that's to do with the human body as well, obviously. And then he went on to do massage therapy as well. And then Connor, the next brother down, he did mining engineering, Queen's University in Ontario. So, I mean, they're quite different, obviously. Their paths there. I think what made me go into biology was like being involved in so many sports as a young child. And then into my teenage years, I loved learning about the human body and what's actually happening, especially related to sport, because it's really good to know, like how you need to properly fuel your body. And if you have this type of pain or whatever, like what could be going wrong in your body. And that's like a lot of what I learned about, even in my undergrad, obviously more so in, medical school or nursing school, but I really do love the human body and how it works. And learning about that is is extremely interesting to me. And I totally, I said, Connor did mining engineering. If I try and do physics, I had to do physics in first year here. It's extremely tough for me. So that's definitely not my calling. But biology is super interesting to me.
So a little birdie told me that you no longer have long flowing locks of beautiful hair. You cut it. Is that right?
Yes, that is true. I actually cut it not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. Pretty funny story. My grandma always was jokingly hassling me about cutting my hair. So then on Christmas Day, when we were eating dinner after, opening the presents and spending some family time, I told her that she was going to cut my hair that night. So my girlfriend braided the hair up, and then my grandma snipped it off with some kitchen scissors. So that's kind of how it went.
I hope you didn't get her a gift. I hope that was her gift.
No, that was her gift. That was definitely a gift, yeah.
So what made you donate that hair to, I guess it was Locks of Love?
I just thought that, kind of giving my hair to someone who definitely needs it is an awesome thing. And if I can make my grandma happy out of doing that and make my girlfriend happy and probably my mom happy as well. I'm sure my dad kind of digged the long hair. He had it when he was a kid. But, if I could do all this and also for a really good cause, then that was kind of the decision that I wanted to do. So, and, change is always nice. As you mature and get older, you don't want to look like a hoodlum anymore.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yep.
So I know that you said that your ultimate goal is to skate for Team Ireland in the Olympics. What are your other speed skating goals?
When I go to a competition or when I'm at training with the club that I train with, I just love connecting with people and kind of investing into friendships and stuff like that. That's a big part of, I think, what attracts me to speed skating so much. So besides getting the Olympics, I would say just do as well as I can at each competition and always strive to get a better result in the next one, like in World Cups and stuff like that. That's definitely a nice result to see is when I get even one place better overall than the year before. That's pretty encouraging. If I don't skate in the Olympics in the future, that's not the biggest deal at all. Kind of going back to what I was saying before, just making an impact on the community through my talent of speed skating is definitely a big goal of mine. And I think that's already kind of happening now. So that would probably be it.
And what are your goals for Team Ireland as far as the speed skating part of the team?
Yeah, well, I definitely going to keep skating for many years as of now. I'm healthy and pretty young. So I definitely want to keep getting good results for Team Ireland because obviously good results in competitions will lead to more people in Ireland, kind of supporting the sport and also getting more funding for the sport. And hopefully that'll help us get an arena built, like an ice pad and a full-size ice rink that's permanent built in Ireland. That is definitely the ultimate goal relating to speed skating in Ireland. So if we could do that, hopefully soon actually, would be awesome. And then long term, having a speed skating training team that would actually be based in Ireland. That would be super cool. Yeah, that would just be an awesome thing if we could have that in the new arena, a full-on team, get the younger kids on speed skates, and then kind of like what I did, I started really young, and then if you train hard enough, then you can get to the highest level. So,
great answer. Now, your brother, he's at university in Ireland. How often do you get to see him?
I saw him over Christmas. He came home, and I was also home for Christmas, so that was nice. And then he was home in the summer, and he will be home this summer after his semester, I think for a month and a half or two. Other than that, if I happen to be in Europe, he would likely, it's pretty cheap for him to get anywhere. So if I happen to be in Europe racing and he wasn't racing, he would likely come and watch. So at least a few times a year for sure.
How often are you guys able to train together or work out together?
Yeah, well, with the time change, obviously when we're not physically together, we usually just do our workouts. We plan our workouts the day before with each other, and then we send our results, like our weight or how long we biked for and stuff like that, and just send it back and forth to each other. So we're not actually physically together, but we're always communicating what we're doing physically and stuff like that. And then when we're both in the same place, we definitely train every day together, that be on the ice or in the weight room or cycling.
The goal of a an elite athlete is to beat everybody on the field. If it came down to you and your brother about to cross the finish line, how much more do you dig to beat him?
Yeah, well, I would say it's pretty similar to how much I want to beat other athletes. I'd say it's about the same. I mean, I want my brother to do equally as well as me. So, like, honestly, maybe less, because, like, we've always trained together. I know how good he is. He knows how good I am. So when we're on the rink together, when we're racing, it's actually more of like, I feel like I want to help him in a way. That's not saying let him win or anything like that, but I would say it's probably about the same, yeah.
That makes sense. So I know that you said that you want to use your role in Team Ireland and on the world stage to kind of help build the brand of Team Ireland speed skating and to sort of benefit the community. So after you stop skating competitively, do you see yourself in some sort of a role with the national team going forward?
Yeah, I would definitely say I would be involved still. That could be either coaching or sitting on the board, helping make decisions relating to speed skating. And there's also figure skating in Ireland. So the ISAI is kind of the overhead of speed skating and figure skating. So I think I would definitely be interested in helping out, as I said, coaching or just giving advice, giving help. Who knows my financial situation in the future, but maybe investing into the team as well that way. So, yeah, I'll definitely be involved with Team Ireland as far as I can see.
Do you have, like, if you had a dream sponsor, who would that be?
Ooh, I could already tell you my brother's answer, by the way. Did you ask him this question?
Oh, well, why don't you answer for him, and then I'll tell you what he said.
Okay, he would say Red Bull. That's what I assume.
Interesting. I should have asked him.
Oh, yeah. He would have said Red Bull, guaranteed. Anyways, for me personally, my dream sponsor, there's a company called Active Faith, actually. It's actually out of the United States. It's a pretty big clothing company, like fitness clothing company, and it's like a Christian clothing company. And I have a bunch of their shirts, and they're like the best quality shirts that you can find for working out. I promise you that. And also that's a message I like sending out as an athlete, as a Christian athlete, wearing their gear. So that would probably be my dream sponsor, honestly. And I do actually try and message them quite often. So that's funny that you asked that. Interesting.
Now, I didn't see that coming, but I guess you're a fairly religious fellow?
Yeah. So, well, I grew up in a Christian household, and I still do practice and put that forward in my life every day, even being at university and in my sport. So that is a big part of why I skate as well. I know that I've been given this talent for a reason, and I just want to use that for whatever is in store for me, really.
Inspirational, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Well, I know that in the States, I find there's even more like probably athletes in the same boat as me. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's a lot of athletes that are in that camp down here. Do you have a website?
Not a personal website, but for my brother and I's fitness company, we do have a website. It's www.ept. So that stands for Elite Performance Training. So it's www.eptworkout.com.
And what exactly does that company do?
So we started an Instagram probably 5 years ago or so. Just a fun Instagram page, and we called it Elite Performance Training. And we just started posting pictures and videos of our workouts because, we're at the gym for so many hours a day. We might as well document some of it. So from that, about 3 years after we started that account, we had a pretty big following around, we had 15,000 followers and got to 20. Currently, we're at about 34,000 followers, I think. So we thought that we could use that page to reach out to more athletes and for athletes to contact us if they're interested in getting, custom workouts, advice, different information on how we train and stuff like that. So that's how that started, basically. And now we keep it going. We have a YouTube channel as well that's kind of tied into the website. So you can watch how to do certain exercises or, agility workouts, stuff like that.
Have other athletes reached out like you guys had planned?
Yeah, actually plenty. A lot of athletes, when we started at the website, we were just giving out free workouts, free programs. So we put in a lot of time and effort into that. Now we do sell the programs usually, close family and friends and athletes at our schools. We give them for free and stuff. But a lot of athletes do actually reach out via Instagram or our website, and we do help quite a few athletes in a ton of sports, like some roller derby female athletes we help, volleyball, like curling, judo, stuff like that. Speed skating, of course, lacrosse, hockey. So a huge variety of sports, and even some professional athletes as well. So it's been really cool to be able to, use our knowledge and as we got to university, our actual studies as well to help grow our company and our Instagram too.
Now, you mentioned a couple of sports in there, and you mentioned them so close together that it got me to thinking it'd be great if there was some sort of a mashup between curling and judo. I would love to watch that.
That sounds extremely dangerous, but pretty cool.
Oh, man, that is awesome. So can you tell everybody what your social media tags are? Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so the company Instagram that my brother and I run together, so that's at elite_performance_training. And my personal Instagram is at Sean_Ton_soup. So Sean Ton Soup. A play on wonton soup, if anyone didn't get that. And Sean spelled S-E-A-N, the only real way to spell Sean.
My wife's name is Sean, spelled the other way.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope.
You're kidding.
So that makes you a terrible person.
Wow, you're going to have to delete that, I think, eh?
That's the only part I'm not going to delete. It's going to be a very short interview where you're just calling my wife names.
I apologize.
That's fine, dude. It's good. It's all right.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well done, man. Well done. So, Sean, before I let you go, I'm sorry, Sean spelled the wrong way. Before I let you go, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
I think you pretty much got it all. I got to cover my childhood and different sports. I got to talk about my goals for Ireland and for my personal athletic journey. I got to talk about my faith a little too. So I think you pretty much got a good little summary of kind of why I do and what I do. So I think that was awesome.
Well, that was super fun for me. Sean, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you're super busy and you had to fit this in between classes or whatever. I just thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me and let us get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm excited to hear the final product and listen to all of your other episodes too. That's awesome.
Very sweet, very sweet. So when this does come out, I'll tag probably everybody that you've ever met on social media. And and of course, I'll give you a little shout out a couple of days before it does get released. But right now it's probably looking like it's going to be, I don't know, in February sometime.
Wow, that's pretty quick. Pretty good.
Well, I release 2 episodes a week.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it really sneaks up on you too. I tell you what.
I can definitely relate to that. Like even trying to post stuff on social media, like a 30-second video, like even twice a week for me is super difficult. So I totally understand how that would take you a long time.
Yeah, it's a huge investment in time, but so far it's been eminently worth it, because I get to talk to people such as yourself who are, really? Making a name for themselves and, helping out the community and building a brand for, a thing that doesn't exist or didn't exist, like, Team Speed Skating Ireland.
Yeah, exactly. Right on.
So, again, thank you so much. It was an honor to talk to both you and your brother and get to know a little bit more about your family, man. So you have a great rest of your week, and tell your girlfriend she can come out of the closet now.
Yeah, I'll tell her. She actually went to the store a little while ago, so I'm going to have to call her and, just discuss what happened. No.
All right, cool. Well, Sean, thank you again. You have a great day.
I appreciate your time, too. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, guys. This is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast here with a very important message. I'm awesome. I bet you thought I was going to say something else, but nope. What's important here is that I am awesome. I started this show because I truly believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear those stories. In the short time I've been doing this show, I've interviewed actors, directors, writers, inventors, podcasters, musicians, pro athletes, Olympic athletes, actual war heroes, even a Bond girl and a luthier, whatever the hell that is, and of course, regular people. From people who wanted to be stars but never gave it a real try, to big company CEOs and people who got to meet their favorite president. I love getting to meet and speak with people who have a story to tell. I feel like everyone does, and it's my job to get them to tell it. You never know who my next guest will be. An Academy Award-winning actor, a platinum-selling musician, or your own mother-in-law. But one thing is for certain, you will be fascinated by their story. So come take a walk with me down Fascination Street. You can find Fascination Street Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and of course, FascinationStreetPod.com. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.